Yes, November 19th, 2020 Planning Board meeting. The first item on the agenda is Borough Subdivision on Rockland and Route 77. And before I open that hearing, I need to appoint Master Bill as a voting member. But now we'll open the meeting, and it has been requested to be continued until December 17th. If somebody would be kind enough to make that motion, we'll get done with that one real quickly.
I make a motion, we continue the Borough subdivision until December 17th.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Gone.
Did Neil say aye?
Yes, aye.
Thank you.
Speak up, we can't hear you.
I'll try harder.
No, we can hear you. Second item on the agenda is application for a subdivision for Dawn and Judith Rogers, 285 Deering Center Road, tax map 411, lot 6 in the residential district. Subdivision to create one new lot. We have a list of 5 waivers. Should really read Kelly's markup before I go there.
Who's your dad?
She's outside. Well, I mean, just outside.
Outside, yeah.
Yeah.
And you, I don't think
Hi, I'm Tom Langlois.
Thank you.
You know how hard it is to not touch the podium? This is a struggle.
You can touch it if you want to.
No, I'm gonna.
Just chill down here. Take it down. Just
I just thought about it. I was like, everything is lava. So,
Just land right over.
Kelly, your memo has a couple of things about the abutters list. Did the right abutters get notified?
Yeah, they were all notified. They
Okay.
just need to be listed on the plan.
Okay.
And one of them was listed twice, so you just need to delete it on the plan.
Okay, as long as they were listed.
They were all notified, yes.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yep, they were all notified.
It's hard to stay awake on Thursdays. So we're having a waiver request for,
the remainder of the lot. So it's a 24-acre lot, and we're looking to cut a 2-acre-ish lot out of it. So I've shown meet all the requirements for that lot and show everything that's required, but I don't have it for the remainder.
so waiver for total area, topography, delineated wetlands, mapping, building and other setbacks.
This lot in the middle here
Yes.
Yes.
doesn't have a lot number or anything. It's a separate lot, right?
Yep, we'll add a lot number to that.
Same thing with over on Peacock Hill. There's a
Yep.
little lot there too, right?
Is that the two? That two Kelly said are missing?
Could be. Huh?
411, 12, and 470, 411, 379?
The one on Deering Center is lot number 7, and the one on Peacock Hill is lot number 2. And you'll notice on my overall, it says remainder after lot line adjustment, which I certainly will change the subdivision for you.
Say that again?
says remainder after lot line adjustment, should say remainder after subdivision. And it says 24 acres, it's gonna be 22, because we're taking 2 acres off of that original 24.
Anything else?
I think I'm good. I saw that when I was sitting down, I said, that's gonna be the first thing Craig notices.
Oh, no, that's on my list, remainder after lot line, not previous
Yeah.
plan, yeah. On both of them up, yeah.
No, I wouldn't notice that. Not tonight.
And there's no frontage,
No frontage on,
then somewhere,
for the proposed lot? All of the,
All the dimensions
all
are
the
there.
dimensions are there.
oh, okay, is that all you need is the dimension?
Yeah. Everything, all the, yeah. Ready for motion on the waiver, now we get this figured out?
Yes, I've been waiting since before you had it all figured out.
I'll make a motion to grant the waiver request as listed in Appendix 3, I guess this is
Sure.
titled.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Abstained? Okay, we've got waivers. We want to accept it as complete?
You're about to deal with it, right?
Yes.
It's got this bit data.
Yep.
It's not showing there, but he's got the sheet here with the test bit data on it anyway.
The pit's in the middle of the 4K reserve area. On the plan.
Here's the first.
Oh, okay.
The wetland stamp,
Yeah, you say the wetlands were delineated by Tim Florida?
Yep, there's no wetlands on the proposed lot.
Can we make it kind of simple and add note number 11 saying that and then just
Yeah.
get rid of the wetland certification?
Sure.
That's what I was thinking.
Yep.
That way he didn't have to stamp the plan.
Yep. I debated which way you were gonna go with that.
Well, if the wetland certification's there, you ought to have a stamp on it.
Right, yep.
But if no wetlands,
If there's no
But
wetland,
it's one of those things, you don't need to be a wetland scientist to determine that it's not wetland, but so it's,
yeah, I know.
yeah.
Pitch what day it is.
we're ready for another motion?
I'm ready.
I make a motion, we accept the application as complete.
Second. Do we have a second?
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained?
So it's
Mr. Higginson.
24 acre lot, we're looking to take 2.3 acres out. Soils and slopes, we need 97,000 square feet, we've got over 100. We've got a state approved driveway permit from DOT. Pretty straightforward, other than that.
So you have drill holes set in the stone wall?
Yep.
So you have two
Two pins to set.
pins to set? Need DES subdivision approval yet?
No,
No.
I will submit for that.
Need to change the note to say you have it?
Yes, so pending, yes, I'll change it to when I get the number. I will be submitting for that tomorrow, provided that you approve it tonight.
Your little drill hole indications.
You don't like them?
No, I like them.
Add them to the legend?
Yeah,
What legend?
Hey. Whoa.
that's the problem.
Oh, I missed that.
Yep.
I was looking for that too a couple times.
Yeah, we'll get that on there.
I missed that one.
You don't need a legend. You knew what they were.
Yeah.
Because I asked.
Yeah, but in the legend, you can say drill
Well,
holes
the problem is
set.
everybody else
You
doesn't
don't
know
have
what
to have
they are
it
looking
drill
at
hole
the
set on
plan.
there 5 times.
Yeah, that gets a little bit cumbersome when you do that.
Yeah.
We're gonna need, can you note the DOT permit on here too?
Yep.
Anybody from public like to speak? Going once, going twice? Okay, close your public comment. DES permit, DOT permit, 2 pins, wetland note, legend, lot line, 22 acres. Anything else?
The butters,
On the abutter list, I had one on there twice, and you said there was one that was missing.
411-379, 411-12,
What are you talking about?
and then your
Here.
lot number 444-62 is wrong.
Oop. 441-62.
The one that's right in the lot.
Oh.
Isn't it 411? Isn't it lot 411, not 444?
In your blow up.
In your blow up right here.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Oh, and I'll send you a copy of my summary.
Sure.
So you're gonna add the.
Yep.
Those two, fix that one. That's it, right? Comments?
Excuse me, can the public still make comment? Or is it passed?
It's passed, but I'll let you speak.
Okay.
But you have to come the whole way to the podium and talk though.
What's that?
You have to come to the podium, state your name and address for the record.
Tom Langlois, 294 Deering Center Road. I'm right across the street.
Okay?
You mentioned waivers in the beginning,
Yes.
and I didn't know what they were. I was just curious.
We granted waivers for, of course I buried my list now. For showing the, no, that's not it. Thank you. For showing the boundary of the entire parcel, for showing the wetlands on the entire parcel, for showing the topography in the entire parcel, and showing soil types in the entire parcel. He showed all that information on the lot to be cut out. We waived it from the remainder of the parcel.
Oh, okay, so it's just on how something was shown.
Pardon me?
It was just how something was shown on the drawing, not the
Yes,
actual items. There's
Yes.
nothing missing that's required as far as setbacks, frontage,
Not on
number of
the-
acres.
not on the lot to be created, no.
Okay,
It's on the remainder,
okay.
all the way.
Oh,
all
on the remainder.
Right.
Okay, that's all.
Okay,
Thank you.
you're welcome. Anybody else like to speak? I close your public comment again then. I'll make a motion. I haven't done that for a while. to grant approval for the subdivision plan prepared for Donald K. and Judith M. Rogers, Deering Center Road, tax map 411, lot 6. Following conditions: 1, receipt of the DES subdivision approval number and noted on the plan. Add the DOT permit number to the plan. Add a legend to the plan. Set the 2 monuments, the 2 rear corners, and note them set. Add a note number 11 regarding there are no wetlands on the wetlands were, whatever, checked by Tim Forwarda, and there's no wetlands on the site, on the lot. Change the wording lot line adjustment to subdivision in the overall plan. Change the acreage to 22 acres in the overall plan. Add the 2 abutting lot numbers in the overall plan. One more?
Throw some
Oh,
lab-
change the tax map number on the subject lot.
and one more thing.
One more thing.
We have some contour labels.
Oh, yeah,
What's that?
contour labels. You know, like 276.
Yep. So generally, I'll remove the contours when it goes to be recorded anyway,
I don't blame you.
so they won't be on there at all.
It'd be good to have it on the office copy, though.
Sure.
With,
Just label you only need to label the major contours, you don't need to label all of them.
Yeah, it's a frozen layer.
I don't record the topo either, just because it's, when it gets scanned and everything else, it gets, yeah,
Fuzzy.
it can get very fuzzy
From the Mylar?
in the scanning processes, yes.
Okay.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Do we have a second?
Evidently not. Yes, I'll second that motion.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Abstained? Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, I lost it again. You guys seen an agenda laying around anywhere?
Oh, what?
An agenda?
Did you lose it?
Yeah, I lost it.
Oh my God, it's right here.
Oh, cool. That's right, it's in red. Next item on the agenda is a site plan, continuation of site plan change of use, application for Marco LLC, 67 North Stark Highway, map 203, lot 32 in the commercial district. Sir?
Me?
You, yes.
Okay.
Hi.
Hi.
So we're back. We made the adjustments and they were submitted to.
You was not gonna see those very well, but
And I had emailed Kelly the updated purpose.
Is it noted on the plan too, or no?
no.
Not the full paragraph, no.
Okay. Do you have a copy that you can read, and I'll just give this to Craig?
Oh,
Craig has the email with the document.
you want me to
I
just
can
read
read
it
it.
out loud?
I can read it.
Okay.
The updated purpose of the market. The real food market will sell pre-made food and drinks prepared off-site as well as groceries and crafts as if the farmer's market is taking place inside. There will be no public restrooms available in the retail space. The space is not intended for consumption of the food and drink sold. During the operating hours of the farmer's market, the real food market will function as a storage and retrieval area for the vendors and will not operate as a retail store.
One suggestion I might have,
What's that?
looking at his new site plan here. Second line of his language, it says where, real food market, and then it says retail store directly underneath it.
What it is?
And this says will not operate as a retail store, so maybe we could take that retail out of there and say market store or something?
Okay.
There you go.
Is it just the terminology being used?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that sentence there says won't operate as a retail store, which is good, because that's what we're looking for.
Yeah.
But then on here, it says retail store.
Okay, well, it won't operate as a
No,
retail store.
it will not operate as a retail store when the farmer's market's open.
Yeah.
If the farmer's market's not open, it's a retail store. During the operating hours of the farmer's market, the real food market will function as a storage and retrieval area for the vendors and will not operate as a retail
Yeah,
store.
yeah. That's correct.
Yeah. But the rest of the time, it will be a retail store or you
Right.
know. And we could call it a grocery or a market or something, but
No, it's-
yeah, I didn't know if the term mattered that much.
no, it doesn't.
Okay.
Is that purpose supposed to be right on the
Hmm?
plan? You want the purpose right on the plan?
Yeah, I think it ought to be on the plan, just so, yes.
So that whole paragraph on the planets? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, if you put that under real food market, you don't need to have retail store.
Okay.
That satisfies your question.
Yeah.
So you take that off and put the definition under that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So the rest of the building is gonna be, what's the rest of the building gonna be?
It's still residential.
Okay.
The only parts that we're changing are the highlighted areas.
Okay.
Because that was originally retail space, it's just it's lost its definition over time. So we're just turning it back. And to the best of our knowledge, the rest of it was residential beforehand.
Are any of these parking spaces only for the residents?
No. Yeah, not only for residents. We have an area.
None designated is what I should be saying, yes.
Correct. Not at this. We don't have one specifically designated for residents at this time. They're all just open parking spots. Do you want us to have ones that are specifically designated for residents? Right now, the only residence is really going to be me long term. So
You want one?
I mean,
If I was a
I'm
resident,
sure I can
would.
find one, but
If I was a resident, I think I'd want one, but
it's going to be my home, so I'm not sure if I need one specifically designated, but I'm sure I could find one if I need to. If I was renting the place out, yes, I would have a specifically designated parking spot for the people who live there. But as it is just going to be me, I'm not all that picky.
Anybody from the public have, like to speak? Vinny doesn't want to say anything. Close it for public comment. I'm good. Take the word retail store out and stick the purpose of the plan that you emailed over, and
We can do that.
if you do it in the morning, I gotta stop in and see Kelly tomorrow.
I'm not here tomorrow.
Oh, good.
Give me the weekend to think about it.
Okay, all right.
I'll make a motion, we approve the amended site plan for 65 North Stock Highway, with a couple of conditions. On the site plan page, remove the word retail store and insert your proposed purpose in there, from what it says in the email.
Yep.
And on the second page, the building thing, put a K after star. 65 North Star.
Okay, sure.
And then put a title at the top of the page, up top here,
Okay.
Tax map and lot number.
with the tax map and lot number.
Yeah, that should be right.
Maybe site plan for tax map and lot number.
Okay.
That way if the piece of paper gets dropped on the floor, you know where to put it.
Well, I usually do two-sided, put it behind. It's not colored.
Discussion. Oh, no, do we have a second?
Second.
Now we have discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
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 I think Neil said aye. Opposed? Abstained? Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Did Neil say aye?
Yes. He said aye.
The dog bit his toe or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we just need to get you that copy by the next time you're in.
Monday or Tuesday? Yeah, that's fine.
Whenever you get it to her, she'll give me an email or a phone call and
Okay, sounds good.
stop in and sign it.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Where's your
So why is he here?
Where's your second page
What second page?
to your plan here, the building plan? Did you throw it out?
Yeah. You want it?
I thought you had notes on it.
No.
It's all right, I'll write.
There's a K in Stark.
But I thought you wanted a heading too, right?
Site plan 4.
So you're here for the lot line adjustment, Mylar, signature
No,
thing?
No,
Subdivision.
we're here for the subdivision and the corrections that were made to the,
Continuation of subdivision from Tibo Corporation.
Oops, I skipped over that. I'm sorry. I apologize.
That's all right, he went right over you, but I think you talked about putting him off anyways, because you wanted to talk about cistern.
That wasn't on purpose.
yeah, that's the cistern, it resolved itself
Yes.
yesterday.
So we got a continuation of the application for proposed subdivision for Tibo Corporation on Clough Park Road, tax map 409, lot 104.
Kelly, you wanna give them those, or you want me to, yeah, I have another.
How many did you bring?
I have 5 sets.
That'll be enough.
They will review each one by themselves.
Well, the thing is, this, I believe the purpose is to record, this is gonna be a two Mylar set.
Yes. So do you still have your summary from continuation?
All the changes that we discussed at the last meeting with Art are all changed in red.
We have not accepted this we have not accepted this complete yet, right?
Correct.
There's a two-page summary. The lot line adjustment was approved, you were just waiting for a final, right?
Yeah. This was approved.
We-
Page 1 was approved.
No,
Right, but what we're proposing is that we record this as a two-sheet set. The lot line adjustment and the site plan. So the discussion I had, Kelly and I were having when I came in was, do we caption one of these lot line adjustment and the next one subdivision?
yes,
Okay, so
It's
sheet
two-
one should be,
it's two different applications.
I thought we approved the lot line adjustment.
right, so I should change the caption on sheet one to lot line adjustment,
No,
okay?
what happened to the other plans?
There's
There was a
two
plan
there,
that showed-
1 and 2.
The lot line adjustment plan showed both 200 acre lots.
Correct.
Do you want me to get the old plans that were before?
Yes, please.
I think Dr. Bill has one here.
I actually meant
To
to.
be waived, typo wetlands, application complete. I thought we approved,
We approved the lot line adjustment.
correct,
So that plan probably will stand on its own.
the one we approved.
Correct.
Yes,
So this is just the subdivision,
right,
a two-page subdivision plan.
right. The lot
Okay.
line should, is probably a two-sheet. I
Right.
assume it's two-sheet, separate application, can be recorded completely separate. Different day, different.
Right, but no, there were so many questions, and the changes were on both sets, with the butters.
No, this is the second page. Yeah, this is first page. First page, second page.
Oh, that's right, we had the 8.5 by 11 thing, didn't we?
Yeah,
That threw away on purpose.
I don't think there was anything else that came with it. This was the,
Where's the minutes?
And then here's the lot line.
You have the lot line adjustment plan? Yes, so we have a lot line adjustment plan that's gonna transfer 3.56 acres to parcel, to lot 104, right?
So that plan is good as is with the corrections, and he can do the Mylar for that.
I haven't seen the corrections, but I assume, I don't know.
That's what I was waiting for, corrections from Matt.
Yes. We don't need to talk about this tonight.
No,
Right.
no.
You make the corrections, give it
Well,
to
I'm in
Kelly.
California, so it's been a long distance.
Kinda, yeah, very long distance. Yeah, you give the corrections to Kelly, she can look at it. I can stop in and sign it.
And the
This
second
one-
one was the open item, which was the subdivision plan. The corrections on sheet one are just basically housekeeping, adding to the note on the purpose of the plan, changing the address for the Corps of Engineers, and a revision date. Sheet two is the question that we had on the flood zone. In all the years I've been working out there, I never encountered this till Craig brought it up. And all the engineering work we've done, and it's actually a huge water storage area. It really is. So this is delineated according to the Corps of Engineers map. Everything else stays the same. The boundary that runs between on the wetlands boundary internally to the lot is also the edge of the flood storage easement as well. So when we do the deed up for the lot, we'll show that on the deed.
So the flood storage area pretty much encompasses all the wetland area.
Yeah.
I read your, I went in and read your deed after last time,
Mm-hmm.
and if I remember right, I don't know the distances, I certainly don't know the numbers on it, but it started a certain distance down from the bridge
Right.
along some contour, then followed a contour line for X number of feet, then went up a contour.
Up a
line.
contour?
Down, sorry, then down a contour, a couple and go, this is all in this is not following the contour line, so I'm a little confused.
Well, that line continues on the second 200 acres all the way along the side of the river, almost all the way back up to where the trailer park is, and the other bridges. If you look at the aerials that we have for the gravel pit in the back, you can actually see it's pretty well delineated.
It pretty much carries that 320 contour, doesn't it?
Yes.
Is this an extra set?
Well, if,
Yeah, there's
that's
two
my
more there,
point.
Kel.
On this side here,
This is above 320,
yeah, but here, he's got a 320 contour, he's got this labeled as a 320 contour, right?
but this is above 320.
Yeah.
This is not in the flood zone. If this flood zone is 320, it goes like that. That's not in the flood zone. I know I'm being really picky, but it's not.
They're saying there's an island out there that's not in it?
There has to be a 322 contour.
Yeah, there's a couple of them, actually. The further up the river you go towards Goffstown, there's a couple of more small ones on the other parcel.
Come here one second, let me show you what I mean. If you're saying the 320 contours is the flood line, or the easement line, excuse me,
This piece of property here.
Right.
you got a pretty good chunk in the middle that's not part of the easement, that he shows in the easement.
Right.
That's the railroad. That's on this piece here.
I don't know how to describe it. Unless-
Yeah, we still have plenty of room with the buildable area is highlighted and everything, so.
Yes, I agree, but this area is not in the flood easement,
No, I know.
but he shows it in the flood easement.
Can you point to it again?
I think it's a lot of it's
Yeah.
on the
That's not in the flood easement.
Okay.
It's above 320.
Right.
I mean, as a matter of fact, you got a 322 way over there. He's saying is in the flood easement, but if it's following a contour, which the deed said it followed a contour,
So you wanna highlight that differently? Or just call out the contour at 320?
To be blunt, I want it right.
So what's right, just a highlighted dark line or the actual,
I'm not the surveyor.
no, I know.
I'm a surveyor, I'm not the surveyor. But I know the deed said following a contour line,
Mm-hmm.
and you're not following a contour line. Or the plan's not following a contour line.
Okay, so,
You know what I mean?
This isn't following the contour?
No, there's a contour. And then the 320 on the other side.
Yeah.
Technically, that's a 322 contour.
Right. And then on the other side, he's got it way over here, but technically the 320 is right here, unless there's another 320 over there, but we don't care about that one, that's not on the lot.
Right. Well, it follows this one right here.
Right.
it looks like it follows the 320 all the way to the stone bound.
But there's an area that goes over that's over 320.
And then on the back, along the back lot line, where that tie line
Yeah,
is a 320, you know,
Right where it says MTS, South 88, 47, 49 East, 5790 MTS. The MT is above 322. That's a 322 contour.
oh, I get you, all right.
So how can that be in the flood easement?
Well, it's not because it's higher, it shouldn't be.
yeah,
That's
but
my
I see, no, I see what you mean, I get you, I get you.
That's
All
my
right.
point, yes, exactly. And right, if you follow that line, the dash is right across the 320. I assume that 320 is labeling that little,
Do you think,
Closed contour
there was
line.
there was a question as to add that tie between the two bounds, not in relationship to anything else, I thought.
yeah, it was so you
Yes.
could locate it on the ground.
Right.
right,
So, I mean, it had nothing to do with the contour line, other than he's got
No.
it on the wrong line.
no.
So I gotta move the red line over to the 320,
Right.
okay?
I misread, got the red line along the 320, running around here.
Oh, because this is an island in the,
Right.
gotcha.
Technically, it doesn't matter, whole full of beans.
No, as long as we're calling it out, we should call it out.
If you're gonna call it, yeah.
correctly.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna put a line on there, make sure it's in the right place, right?
Right.
And I know it said it bumped down and up and down a couple of times, so I assume that's not in this area that it's changing elevations.
I think even at 322, I mean, they're taking this whole swath of land, that whole width, so I don't think they pocketed out, you know, this one was 5 feet higher, so that's outside of the easement. I think this is just a blanket easement along either shoreline of the river, no?
Follow the contour line.
It's an easement.
No, you don't misunderstand me.
What's this here?
In other words, we got 320 here,
flood elevation
320
line.
there,
So why
then
is
you got a
that?
little
Different
swath
than
that's
these.
322.
This is Army Corps
That
where
doesn't
they
get
had the right to
excluded
flood
from the
to.
easement.
This is FEMA flood map line.
Oh,
Yeah.
Why?
Because the Army Corps line has a right to flood to a certain elevation.
The deed, the way I read the deed,
No, but the flat land that goes 2 feet below it, 322 to 320,
They don't have a right to flood that. So that's not in their easement.
The way I read the deed,
yeah,
you start, and your property's down here, but there's a certain, I don't remember the contour number. You
Well,
follow,
just pick
you
one
follow a
number.
contour
yeah,
a certain distance from the bridge, where you start a certain distance from the
Right.
bridge. Then you follow that contour for a certain distance, whatever it is, say 1,000 feet. Then you get down 2 feet. Then you follow that contour for
Right.
800 feet, then you get down 2 feet.
As the stream level falls, as it's going
Right.
down, yeah.
Right, so
yeah,
you
but
keep
no,
going down.
what I'm trying to say is,
So-
what you're saying is, if this one ends up 2 feet higher than that, that's out of the,
No, what I'm saying is, if this contour line goes like this, this is not in the this is not in the flood zone, which is what's happening on your property.
oh, all right.
They only have the right to flood to that elevation they listed in the deed.
Because you
Okay.
can't, if they only flood the 320,
that little
I
thing.
can, I
Silica's
can,
gonna
I
be
can,
sticking
I
up,
can
right?
walk through here without being wet. Theoretically.
Might be awfully muddy, but.
Yeah, it might be, yeah, it'll be very muddy, I know that. I'll bring my hip waders. Not my chest waders, my hip waders.
Okay. Other than that, I think we got all the other corrections that were requested.
I think it was. That is, what is all.
So he's asking for a waiver from soils, wetlands, topography,
The wetlands are delineated.
For the remainder of the
By
site.
Bruce Gilday, we'll have those stamped, right?
for the rest of, for the rest of the
Right.
site, though, you need a waiver.
Right.
Is there anything else, Kelly, that you know? Still needs to fix the classification of the road. Still doubled up, you can't really read it. Let's see,
Where's that one?
on the second sheet,
Oh, yeah, over here, I highlighted it, this one right here.
yes.
Yeah, you see that, Vinnie?
No telephone pole numbers.
Oh, yeah, it runs into the contour line, right?
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. On the other sheet?
Yeah.
Is there a well location there?
This one's not getting recorded, so this one we have
This is getting recorded?
Yeah, wetland stamp,
Oh,
do
they're
you need a
identified.
wetland
Yep.
stamp?
Yes.
It'll be on the Mylar. Bruce will stamp the Mylar.
Okay,
as long as they're on one of them, they're on here.
so
So
that's
it's
still
going
to
as
do,
a set, he said.
Pardon me?
it's still to do that?
Yeah.
Want a motion on the waivers?
Yes, we have accepted as complete, we gotta get that done. Is that all the waivers there were, is topo, soils, and wetlands on the remainder piece?
Did any for the subdivision, or was it just for the lot line?
Subdivision.
Let me check the lot line. Subdivision. Right here, two waivers. Remaining land, 200 acres plus, there's adequate buildings, no.
Yeah.
Road topo, delineate wetlands, soils mapping, building setbacks on the
Okay.
remainder.
And building setbacks, okay. So wait, topo, wetlands, building setbacks, and soils.
I'll make a motion to grant the 4 waivers requested for a subdivision of lot 409, map 409, lot 104, for topography, wetlands, soils, and building setbacks
on the remainder.
on the remainder parcel.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Good, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstained.
Is Neil still with us?
No. You fall asleep, Neil?
Yep, Neil's gone.
So 3-0.
Still connected.
Okay.
So then we need to,
Accept.
Accept is complete.
yes. Is that a motion made?
Motion to accept it as complete.
I'll second.
Discussion, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained. Hey, Neil. Yep, he went to bed. You want to note in the minutes that Neil left at some time?
I did, I put ZZZZ.
It's still connected.
The speaker on or off? Did you hit
No,
it
it's
by
on.
mistake?
Lights are flashing.
It would be red if I had shut the speaker off accidentally.
Maybe he excused himself for a minute.
So, I mean, regarding this flood elevation, do you think we need them to show those lines, or just put a note on there saying they have a right to flood to the 320, or whatever it is?
I would show it personally. How about if,
'Cause it does kind of meander around a bit.
do you have the application for subdivision?
And then if we wanted to show it, maybe we could restrict it to this side, the east side of the flood, because they can't do anything on the west side, obviously, on that lot, right?
What?
With the other lots right here, right? With the other lot,
Well,
they can't get there.
that's not part of this lot.
No, but the lot line's right here, right?
Yeah.
So the 320's in here, so there's a little piece in here that's not in the flood zone. Right, isn't this a 320
No,
line right
I'm
here?
gonna say no. Because I'm gonna say that if it's flooding up to here, that's in the flood zone.
Oh, there's a 320 right here.
Yeah, I still would say it's in the flood zone. It might be above the elevation, but it's still in the flood easement. Flood zone's wrong word, flood easement.
That doesn't mean flood easement. But if
It won't get wet, theoretically.
theoretically. But they can't get there
Right.
without crossing the wetlands. And there wouldn't be any logical sense to get a wetlands permit to cross that wetlands to get to this little spit of land over here.
I'll let Craig send that to DES for me.
You know, I'll try.
And what year are you retiring?
I got 3 or 4 left.
21 number.
From this job, from the non-paying job or from the paying job?
Probably from this one would be safer.
So do we want it delineated on the,
I can hear Ridge
West side.
Ridge
No,
Mark
my
laughing
point is,
now.
If this is,
We
if the
went
flood
into
zone's
for
on
the-
the 320, flood easement is on the 320, assuming it comes around again,
yeah,
that area is in the flood zone.
yeah, but what's this spot right here? Where my pen is?
It's in the flood area.
Why? There's another 320 right here. It comes down through
Because they're
there.
describing everything from here to the river. So that is in the flood easement.
So it's still only one side, okay. So what's this line over here then?
I didn't put it there, I don't know.
I know. What's that, on the other side of the river maybe?
I assume.
Because it's the river right here, right?
Right. I was hoping the deed was in there, but it's not.
So basically what you're telling me is the governing principle of this flood easement is elevation,
Yes.
not between the lines. Is that right?
No. That's not what I'm saying.
Isn't it?
No.
Because this piece of property is between the lines.
Right. easements for here?
I have in the past, yes. So if the easement, if the deed says, following the 320 contour
Yep.
for a certain distance, then you're going down 2 feet for the 318 contour, following the 318 contour,
Mm-hmm.
that 323 is in this flood easement. If it says all land below 320, that area's not in there. That's not what your deed says.
Right.
The deed says along the guide contour according to the Army Corps of Engineer, NGVD 1929. So it's describing an edge.
Right.
So
But it also describes the other edge.
I'm not worried about the other edge.
No,
I believe you. Yeah, it does.
You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
Yeah, but the other edge is off this lot. It's on the big lot, but it's not on this lot.
oh, I see what you're.
So it's
all right, yes,
describing another line here, yes.
Okay, now I see.
So it's everything between the lines.
Gotcha.
But your lot line is here,
The lot
so this
line
is,
cuts it off.
But your
Right,
lot line's
okay,
there,
all
right? The
Again-
scope stops here.
I thought I missed something in the easement.
yeah.
All right, now I follow you.
Stick with me, I'll teach you stuff. Don't
Thank
worry.
you. This is stuff I don't want to learn.
Hey,
Yeah, you don't wanna know.
No, but that is,
I mean, it depends how the easement's worded. If it says all land below the 320 contour, you got a 323 hump, it's not in the floodplain, flood easement. But that's not what it says. Where got a line there?
Oh, with the text overlay,
Yeah, that's for.
oh,
all right.
I get 2 lines.
So I will have him delineate the flood elevation wherever it shows. As part of the easement. Then put a note on the plan that the easement elevation is 320.
Yeah, just for clarity.
Yep.
And, next to Clough Park Road, on the,
Yeah, right underneath, where it says Clough Park, where it says status, class.
you
Yeah,
got,
I,
2 lines of
Kelly
text
told me that,
overlaying each other.
move it up and put it on top.
Yeah, we got that.
And Bruce's stamp.
Yeah, he said that would be on the Mylar.
Right. What?
I'm packing up.
Anybody from public like to speak? Speakers included. No.
I don't know, we probably put everybody to sleep with the easement thing.
Yeah, probably. Seeing no one and hearing no one, I'll close for public comment. What's the board want to do?
oh, I don't think we need to talk about this again.
Okay.
I mean, do we?
In that case, when the final plan is delivered, can we have a copy of your deed that says where that easement line is?
Right.
So I can look at it again, to make sure I agree with whatever happened, even though I shouldn't be doing that?
The copy of the original deed,
Yes, please.
okay? It's funny that the flood storage easement is 3 feet below the flood elevation.
The FEMA flood elevation?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the FEMA flood elevation is,
That is weird.
so that's the Army Corps' way out. So if the water got too high, they can say, hey, it wasn't us, that was FEMA.
Yeah, I know, I deal with them every day. We have a project down on the coast at the Hampton River. the property lines go down to the mean low tide mark on some of the old ones. Except twice a year when the mean low tide is higher.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
Every email I send.
Hey,
is
Craig,
40
didn't you
people.
want some sort of a federal permit or permission or something on this project?
yes, we've been talking about the Army Corps flood elevation, the flood zone limits.
No, I understand that, but I thought Craig wanted a copy of something, a copy of a federal document.
No, it's in the deed. Where did you go? We couldn't hear you for a while. Or you couldn't hear us for a while.
I've been right here,
Oh,
breathing quietly.
yes,
But,
very. Because we were talking to
Yes,
you.
I just want to make sure that the document itself, if it's in the deed, that's fine, or you get a copy of it, or at least you decide you don't need it,
Yeah.
because Craig was concerned about that last time.
Yeah, he asked him for a copy of the deed when they bring the Mylars in, so he can compare it to what's on the plan.
So you don't need a separate document. Enough is in the deed to make the comparison possible.
Yes, I looked at it after the last meeting. I looked at the deed online,
Okay,
so yes.
thank you.
So we need a wetland stamp, we need the status of the road, drafting error, copy of the deed, flood line,
Probably delineated.
revised, corrected, whatever the word one is. You make a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, good.
I'll make a motion, we approve the plan with the following conditions. The text be corrected for the road classification. Soil scientist stamp be on the plan. The flood elevation line be properly delineated. Army Corps flood elevation line be properly delineated.
Easement,
Easement line.
yes.
And we need a copy of the deed for the file to kind of make sure the deed and the plan are the same place. And add a note to the plan describing the flood easement the Army Corps has.
Well, we could take the note he hasn't read and just make it his note number 6 or something. So this portion of the
Yeah.
property is subject to the flood? Okay.
Good.
Yeah, that's fine.
We're all set.
I think that's it.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Discussion. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Congratulations, sir.
Thank you. Oh, just one thing. The subdivision's gonna be a two-sheet Mylar, and then the lot line adjustment is one separate. So we'll be recording 3 sheets.
That's 2 different plans.
Right,
Yes,
yeah, sheet 1 and 2, and then just sheet 1.
yes. You want these, ma'am?
Not really,
Okay,
but I have mine, and I have the old one,
okay.
unless Vinnie wants them back.
Hmm?
Do you want them back?
No, I'm good.
Okay, yes, I have them here.
So we have a voluntary merger application, I understand. Voluntary merger for 112 East Shore Drive, tax map 104 Lot 6 and 104 Lot 7, both in Hillsborough County Deeds, Book 9351, page 66.
Good night, happy Thanksgiving to all.
Thanks, yes, good night, thank you.
The deeds are there if you need the deeds.
What about the mortgage?
What about the what?
Mortgage,
Okay.
yes. If there is any mortgage on any of the lots, the applicant shall give written notice to each mortgage holder at the time of submission of the application. The written consent of each mortgage holder shall be required as a condition of approval of the merger and shall be recorded with the notice of merger pursuant to paragraph 1. Is there any buildings in these two lots? I assume there's a building in one of them.
Didn't I put the tax card with it? No. Let me go grab the card.
No, there's no tax card or tax map here.
Let me go grab the card, 'cause the mortgage deed might be in. Hold on a second. What was it, 1046?
Yes.
6 and 7. We have this. It's empty.
No, blank. The blank voluntary merger form. Got anything you want to merge? No, it's fine.
I grabbed the written
Well, you
one.
told me not to, I asked about that.
I know, don't, yeah, you better not doing it.
I asked.
Building on lot 6.
That's the only thing we can really worry about is
Yep.
if there's two buildings, there's a building on 6 and a building on 7, then we can't merge them.
Nothing on lot 7.
Okay. So technically, we could merge this with a condition that,
There's a warranty deed, quitclaim deed, warranty deed, and then it gets older. So I have to check to see if there's a mortgage on it?
no, you don't have to, they have to.
They have to.
Right.
And if,
And if there is, you need their consent.
we don't need to take a motion on that, that's,
No, but I would make a condition of approval. Of approval.
You can sign it, and I won't give it to him until I
Right.
know. Till I get him.
do we even need to make a motion? I make a motion, we approve the lot line adjustment merger,
Voluntary merger.
voluntary merger, provided that there is no mortgage on the lots, or if there is, then the consent of the mortgagors is forthcoming
Map 4, 104, lot 6 and 7.
for 104, lot 6 and 7.
Second,
Second.
discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 He's still there. Opposed, abstained? Okay. Kelly and I had a little, where I started the discussion with my private road thing. And Kelly said she had a list. So she emailed me her list, and I made one list, which I've since lost, obviously. Thank you. No?
Remember, it's the one that didn't come.
Oh, it's over here. It's in the pile I don't want to throw away yet.
So I have to advertise for December 10th, we're having a public hearing to start zoning amendments. So when you advertise, you should put in there, you know,
What the
kind of-
potential,
what your
amendments
potential
are?
changes are, yes.
it doesn't have to be much, I mean, you can just put private roads, right? You don't need,
I had to put conditional, the definition of private road and a conditional use for a private road to describe the criteria to be section 37, just a one sentence thing.
But you have to do that for 3.4.2 and for Article 3.5
I
and
can-
for Article,
I have to say, if you want more information, please see me, and that will be attached. They can come in and look at the file.
Yeah, you have to list each article we're talking about changing.
Not on the newspaper article.
Then why are you saying anything about private roads?
Just a quick sentence of what we're gonna be discussing at the public hearing.
Aren't we gonna be discussing 3.4.2?
Yeah, he just said private roads. So under the sentence private, so the agenda, or the planning board will be
Public notice is gonna
discussing
mention every article we're gonna be talking about.
one sentence about every article.
Yes, okay. So,
But I don't have to list the whole,
no,
okay, there you go, thank you.
yes,
37.1, 37.2,
right.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
got it.
So is that what this is? We're gonna-
This is mostly a list of,
Just the private roads thing?
no. Clean up my filing cabinet there.
There were some things that I have,
In this thing,
That's the private roads.
partly.
partly, to do-
The stuff on
And
top. above Article
on top
37.
is 3.4.2. Where the existing, I typed up the existing article, and we want to take out what I have crossed out. At least, I believe we do.
yeah, correct.
Yeah, that's the,
So,
that was that racetrack,
Yes.
brought that to light.
Yep.
I just tried to put these in order.
Mhm.
Article 3.4, Article 3.5, Article 4.1, et cetera. So I understood what you're talking about with 3.4.2.
Okay, so that one's, all right, to at least discuss, not a public hearing. Okay,
Right, 3.5,
3.5.
I know what she means about that.
I don't understand, do you?
Yeah, that was on non-conforming lots.
Yeah, I have it, yeah.
Right now, it's non-conforming lots, you can do, the structure can be non-conforming, doesn't have to meet the setbacks, has to meet the modified setbacks. But it doesn't say anything about
Accessories.
accessory dwellings, or, I mean, like barns, sheds, garages.
It was the court case on Quaker
Oh.
Street that was returned,
Mm-hmm,
reversed.
mm-hmm.
The court made a judgment that
Because right now,
the building
The zoning
inspector
just says
should
the
not
only
have
thing
issued that permit.
that has that reduced setback benefit is the residence.
So a garage, a shed, and all that doesn't get the non-conforming distance.
Right. You want to talk about kennels again? I thought we talked about that.
Craig sent
No,
me
but back up. What are you trying to change here? I understand what you're talking about now. What do you want to change?
Where are you? Are you still?
I'm
on-
still on 3.5.
About the setbacks.
Yeah,
Are you trying to say in 3.5 non-conforming lots, you want to say, notwithstanding the minimum lot area requirement set forth in table 1 of this, 1.1 of this ordinance, a single-family residence
and
And-
accessory structures,
and accessory structures may be constructed on a lot which does not comply with said requirements?
correct.
Okay.
So if you want a barn, a garage, or a shed on that property,
How
but it's a
about an
non-conforming,
accessory dwelling unit?
an ADU?
Yeah.
I don't, yeah, it's by special exception anyways, ADU, but I don't, that's not an accessory structure, that's an accessory apartment,
Yeah, because it can't be detached anywhere.
right? Yeah, but put it in there if you feel comfortable excluding ADU, put it right in there, write it right out.
Since it can't be detached, I don't think,
Well, I know, but you'd have to interpret that and have to go to another code, but
yeah.
spell it right out in
It
there.
says a single-family residence may be constructed. It doesn't say a single-family residence and an accessory dwelling unit may be reconstructed.
So, I have a
I'm
se-
asking.
And, well, the state law says any place you can legally build a single-family residence, you have to allow for an ADU.
You can have an ADU, but does that ADU addition have to meet the setbacks?
Right. That's the big
That's the big question.
problem here, the setback issue. Because it's relaxed setbacks, it's 15 feet or something, right, instead of,
Instead of 25.
right.
30 front, 15 side rear.
Right,
yes.
instead of 50 and 25.
Mhm.
But if you don't want ADU involved, you can put exclude.
The only thing the ADU would be excluded from is the setback relief.
It's allowed as a use, but it's not.
I think that's crazy to make them push ADU back, because there's other special exception requirements as far as the front door, the look of it.
I'm fine with that. Just adding an accessory structure. I just didn't know what you meant.
Yep, no, we can sit, we can talk about it at a public hearing, doesn't mean you have to decide.
Right.
Yay or nay, it's just.
I just wondered if we want to include it in the,
Exactly.
right.
Yeah.
Okay, the reason I had a question about Craig to discuss kennels. Huh? Is that definition of kennels? His definition of kennels shall mean a building or land use for commercial breeding. Nope, doesn't say that.
Boarding.
Boarding or breeding,
This is
5 or
what
more
you gave
dogs.
me.
Hmm?
This is what you gave me to discuss,
I gave you something?
yeah, a long time ago.
I guess.
You said, remind me next year. So I'm just telling you now.
It's time.
It's time. It's
So-
next year already.
No, it's not. It's November.
Yeah, we did this last November,
I know.
and we'll do it next November.
So what's the question?
I don't know, Craig reading it.
Oh, how to take care of the pet waste.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's not,
I thought it had something to do with boarding or breeding.
No, it doesn't.
Okay, so a kennel.
it came up out of the doggy daycare thing.
Yes,
Ah,
yes, that's where it came up.
Yeah, but why would we just,
And they said
mean-
they were just gonna put it in the trash.
the state has a best management practices on animal waste, right? We talked about that with the
Well-
horse building down there.
a lot of it has to do with the wetlands, DES and wetlands investment.
I think that's on that best management practices though, which is really the only thing, what we're concerned about, right?
Well, accumulation of, that would be a health hazard, would be a health nuisance,
Mhm.
even though it's not near wetland.
Well, does that need to be identified in what this is, definitions?
No, it's in the health code definitions as a nuisance.
Do we say something about kennels other than definition?
Under the section, with your,
Page 23, 17.3. Point 12.1, 12.2 is
kennels.
kennels are allowed by conditional use permit. Criteria for granting of the conditional use permit. Well, I actually looked at this when I typed up the private road thing.
I thought I did. I cut and paste these paragraphs.
3 point what?
17.3.12.
Yep.
I mean, I don't think we need to change that, because that says non-degradation of the quality of groundwater, negative environmental impact, so we can reference that best management practices when they come
Oh, yeah.
for that.
You can still regulate it under that.
Right.
Does that apply to existing non-conforming? That's something we were talking about, never mind.
I mean, you get noise levels counted in that conditional use, you got the groundwater quality, negative environmental impact. Is there something else you thought?
I would just think I really haven't thought about it, except I saw this in the plan link thing.
Mhm.
But, oh yeah, we had that come up a while ago.
I think the conditional use covers it. that you can regulate
Yeah,
the
I think
amount
so.
of waste?
Yeah.
Will we remember to do it if it's not in the regulation?
Well, it's,
Really not a
I mean,
regulation.
this keeps it,
You have to ask that question, what are you doing with the waste?
right.
Right,
but
we gotta remember to think about it.
Yeah,
If we look at this conditional use permit criteria, we should.
I wouldn't have. Sorry, I wouldn't have thought about
That's all right.
pet waste. I would've thought about dog noise.
well,
Well,
what,
noise is here too.
Yeah, I'd have thought of that one.
what line did you want put in there?
I don't know.
You wanna put the word animal waste right with that line? That way it'll trigger a thought when you read it?
I mean, environmental impact and the groundwater, I mean, that's, the waste is what causes the problem with that.
But you could throw the words animal waste in there just to let it, leaves room for discussion.
Yeah, we do is make it, get rid of the and before C and make a D.
Yeah. Well, we can put it on the agenda.
Well, is there
to do-
anything else,
Yeah, you put it on the agenda, we can,
Yeah, let's put it in.
Okay,
Don't lose that.
is there anything
Remind
else
me
in
this year.
the above permitted uses that we want to address too?
which ones?
I mean, because you're talking about animal waste just under kennels, but you got animal waste over here with grazing care, keeping livestock, et cetera.
Right, that's on the right to farm.
That's, yeah, but it's under rural agricultural district permitted uses, and the
Right,
kennels
so
under
if somebody
that
came
too.
in with,
and it- and
So
that's
why
actually,
do we
that's
not-
actually, when someone came in for, under that clause that you just put in, that agriculture,
Yeah,
that's when we discussed that best management practices because of, it's near an aquifer, it's actually over the aquifer.
yeah.
So that's when we kind of incorporated that into the site plan approval.
the cows and horses.
So, but you,
And I think
but you
farmers,
didn't have to ask the question about waste though, that you automatically did it anyways.
I think farming is different than a commercial kennel as far as waste
Yeah.
goes,
No?
in my opinion. I could be wrong.
That's all right, we'll put it on to discuss, but you don't have to change it if you don't want to.
Okay, so we stick private road on there, right?
Yeah.
Request legal opinion on 9.1. What in the world are you talking about?
So, and I have a couple of building permit ordinance changes too as well, so they're both the same paragraph. But if you read 9.1 penalty, it's in there, you have to go to court in order to collect the fine, or they have to be found guilty first. So with an example on the building permit, fine and penalties, there should be like a first offense, second offense, and then if you're found guilty, you pay the $275 a day per day.
Yeah, but that's, does that need to be covered by zoning?
Well, your building permit ordinance goes with planning board, because it's on my list to discuss in a few minutes to change it. But this one here is the same thing. You have to be found guilty first.
I guess we'll have to look up
No, it
RSA for that.
Or after the date on which the violator receives written notice from the town that he is in violation of this ordinance,
Right.
whichever date is earlier.
For subsequent offenses, each day that such violation is found by a court to continue after the conviction date,
Or,
after the date on which the violator receives written notice. So all I do is send a written notice that you built without a permit.
yeah,
But you don't pay a fine until you're found guilty.
that's not what that says.
Well, that's what the attorney said, okay.
Any person who shall violate this provision shall pay a civil fee of yabba dabba dabba da do for the first offense, $550 per second offense. Each day that such violation is found by a court to continue after the conviction date or after the date on which a violator receives written notice from the town.
Right, and I thought she said they have to be convicted in order to get that $275 for the first offense. Doesn't say.
Maybe she's saying the or and all that other stuff shouldn't be there.
It's an RSA. So my point is, we don't have any penalty or enforcement for a less penalty than that, or to have to take to court. If you build without a permit, there should be a $50 fine for not filing for a building without a permit or.
Well, I thought it was double the permit fee.
And that's what she said in the building permit ordinance, that's my other question, because last time she reviewed the building permit ordinance, she said, you can't do that. But I didn't, it wasn't on our list of changes to discuss last year, but it is this year. So I need to get a legal opinion from her first.
Yes, you need to talk to the attorney.
Yep.
Okay. I said, why are you talking to us? Do you talk to the attorney?
Well, because it's just on my list, and it says here, request legal
Yep,
opinion, so
okay.
that's all.
This is the mixed use thing in the next one is the mixed use in the Ware Center Village District.
Yeah, and I put that in there just to
Because
throw
Bruce
out a
brought it up.
question for you, because when you talk about commercial and residential, you're pretty adamant about you don't have mixed use, but yet you do allow it in that one district.
Yes.
Okay, do you wanna keep it that way? I don't know who wrote the district.
Page 28, Article 4.3, mixed use restriction. That's only the Ware Village District, it's the only place that's allowed in town.
Yes.
Yes,
Can we just put it on as, without addressing any particular article that we want to talk about mixed use?
Don't we just approved that tonight, didn't we? That's still part of Ware District.
No, we did approve of mixed use, that's zone commercial.
Oh.
So he's doing a commercial use.
but it
Commercial
was, but it
and-
was
There was a
mixed.
grandfathered mixed
Yeah.
use there. But that's also in the Ware Village District, isn't it?
Right.
No, you sure?
Is it? Well, maybe it's not.
Where does Ware Center Village stop?
I know across the road's not in it.
I think it defines it in your Ware Center, page 20, does it?
It definitely defines it in my zoning map. Which is always falling out, so I always look at it. That's not it. There it is, it's falling out.
Green. Go down to Quaker Street.
It says residential, all residential village.
Oh. Yeah, residential village.
No, he's way over here. No, I don't know where he is. There's Center Road.
It's on the corner of Quaker Street, it's before Center Road.
I guess he's right there. He's in the commercial.
Okay. So it looks like the village is stuck just the other side of Quaker Street, right? Harry's place is it?
Harry's in the village, yes.
Yeah.
We knew that Harry's was in the village. We knew that.
Harry's in the village,
Yes.
but the next property isn't.
Right.
I think mixed use is gonna take a lot of work. If we wanna do it,
It's in the commercial.
I think it'd be a great idea to allow mixed use somewhere other than Ware Center.
Is that something you wanna discuss like during the summer and then bring it back up next year?
I
or-
think that would almost take a subcommittee, to be blunt.
Okay.
Why is it only in that village?
Well, that's my question.
That's what I'm asking.
I don't know. Is Neil still there?
It's like that,
I'm still here.
Do you remember why we only have mixed use allowed in the Ware Center Village District?
Because, as I recall, there were a couple of mixed uses there, apartments over stores.
Yes.
And so we didn't want to ban that, and we continued to allow it.
Why wouldn't we allow it other places?
Because it didn't happen other places.
Do we want it to happen other places?
Remember the store, this Ware Center store? The
Oh, yeah.
Bidwells used to live there.
Yep,
Their
yep.
apartment was over the store.
Yep.
There's a couple of places like that in the center, and it was thought that if that's going to be a business center of town, maybe that's a good idea. So we didn't ban it and grandfather it. We allowed it, but we didn't expand it elsewhere. I suppose you could expand it to North Ware Village
Yeah, I mean,
on
Blackbird,
the same theory.
the Blackbird store, there wouldn't,
there's no space.
I don't think Blackbird has anybody living over them. Tom lives next to them.
okay.
And you could always require a special exception, like an ADU, if it ever comes back, at least,
Well, it's
at least
like
not a.
that, the Riverside Academy, you have someone come and talk to you about that? The brick building in North Ware,
Yep,
Oh, yeah, yes.
that they
yes.
want to do like a retail space on the first floor and possibly living space on the second floor, or in the back.
Yeah, and then one wanted to build and live upstairs and do a doggy daycare downstairs too.
Yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
So that would be a mixed use, but it's not permitted.
Right.
So it has to be one or the other.
mm-hmm.
So you would need a variance.
But it's village though, too, so that's another, that's Chase Village. Right?
But it's almost easier to start out with, I mean, maybe Craig's right, do a subcommittee, but I mean, to add it to other village districts, which is,
Why not add in a commercial district?
Because no residential.
there's no residential and commercial.
I understand that,
I know,
but you could allow mixed use.
That's what I'm saying,
yeah.
I'm throwing it out there. I'm not saying I wanna do it tomorrow. I don't wanna do it
Well,
tomorrow.
there's really no
I
function other than that one there's a couple of commercial buildings.
What's wrong with something like Palmer's Tavern having a apartment above it?
To my eyes, nothing.
Nothing, it's separate.
But it's not allowed.
But
Right,
you
I
have
know.
it's not the same building, it's two buildings on the lot where the,
But if it's on the same lot, it's still mixed use.
right, so that's happening in Chase Village already. And the machine shop, and then it has the apartment behind it. And I'm not sure if that's Chase Village, it might be outside of Chase Village. You know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
Yeah.
The toys, what's their names? It's an old toy factory now, it's a machine shop.
Yeah.
But the people who run the machine shop live in the house.
Either way, I think it's something, I think it's a good idea. Where, I don't know.
Especially the next couple of years coming up, with businesses going out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, the people who own the old post office.
Yeah.
By the beaver dam there, the old post office is just used as storage, I think. But they could easily turn that into a little gift shop if they
Mm-hmm.
Right.
wanted to, but
And you could put.
but that's
that-
mixed use, but it's not permitted.
Right, but if you put it in the commercial, you could put it mixed use by special exception, so it's not just residential, it's mixed use by special exception.
Right.
I mean, there's options, I just didn't know how far you wanted to go with it, you wanna just start a subcommittee, start talking about it the next few months, or do you wanna put it on the agenda?
I think we need to talk about it. Because if you look at the history of Ware, how many little toy factories grew up on the whole river system that are now defunct, but who knows if cottage
Well, yeah,
industries
there's those
that
small
we have
businesses
all
that-
over the place.
Small businesses are the backbone of what's going on right now, especially.
And a lot
You
of-
just look
lot
at
more coming up with people
Google
staying
Maps
out.
and you see all these places you never knew that they were there functioning as a business.
And everybody's working at home now anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's something to think about. Maybe it's something to either do a committee or do over the summer.
Why don't we think about it why don't we bring it up in January,
Very good.
after our zoning amendments are done?
Okay.
To be honest, summertime's a real tough time for me to do anything, other
Yeah,
than cut
we'll just-
firewood
we'll
and
just
go
start the-
fishing and.
We'll just start the discussion, that's all.
Springtime's a good time to get stuff like that done.
Yep.
January to April. Frontage, 22.6.4. It was deleted. Why was it on your list? Was added.
No,
3/11/2008.
22.6.4 just says frontage underlined bolded, added 3/11/2008.
Oh, on page 28.
What about it?
Nothing there.
What about it? I have no idea what you, what about it?
There's something,
Something
something got
missing.
lost in the translation here.
Yep. I don't think that has to be a public hearing. I think it's
No.
just an error that something's missing there, that I'd have to go back 2008 and see what you wrote.
No,
Oh.
no, it's weird, but it's right.
Okay,
Because 22.6.4.1 deals with frontage in Clinton Grove. 22.6.4.2
Oh,
is the frontage in Riverdale.
Title,
So frontage is a subtitle,
subtitle under yard requirements.
yes.
yeah, see how
22.6.
22.6 is yard requirements in the village districts.
Oh, yeah,
And
Villa
then the
Riverdale.
frontage deals with everything else.
Okay.
Right, for some reason, 22.6.4 frontage got added underneath
Oh,
yard
okay.
requirements.
Okay, just cross it off, then we don't need to.
Yeah, we don't need to do that, okay.
Just need to make it
It's not very,
bulleted.
it's not very,
It's not, it's just the way that it's sectioned out.
it almost ought to be 2210 or something like that.
2410, that's my pet peeve, remember?
2410. No, I don't remember.
What's that number again?
2410.
24.10,
Thank you.
commercial uses. Prohibited or not permitted is the very last sentence, and I think it should be moved to say not permitted under permitted uses, so when you're reading it, because people don't read the whole ordinance. All they read is that first sentence, which says everything that's rural and residential is allowed in commercial. And then they stop there and say, well, it says right here I can have a single-family home. I'm like, no, you gotta turn the page, you gotta go to the last sentence.
So it should be 24.6.
Sure.
What?
Yeah, it should be the next section after permitted uses.
24.6.
It should be before special exception, but after.
Before,
Yeah, before special exception.
Yeah,
24.
Why not put after that sentence, why not say, any use permitted in the residential R district and rural agricultural district, RA districts, C 2410.
well, you could do that too.
Yeah,
You could do that too, but it's been a.
It is, I understand,
Yeah,
I agree, but rather than trying to renumber the whole frickin' section, just
However
say,
you wanna do it, I just wanna
just
be
say C
able,
2410,
yeah,
under what?
right at the end of that sentence. Under 24.3.1, any use permitted in the RA, or residential R and rural agricultural districts, C 2410.
right,
Hopefully somebody says, oh, I look over there and find out it's not permitted.
right.
Yeah.
See section 10.
If you're going to do that, add the word, or put the word but in front of it. But, see 2410.
Right, or something like that, right.
Please.
And I don't think moving the sentence is actually changing an ordinance, so it might not need a public hearing, but it won't hurt to put it on the agenda before I get a legal opinion. Because some things are just administrative correction.
Or just say C 2410 for non-permitted uses.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. That'll help.
Article 34.
So I had a question about 34.9.5. This is Neil's specialty with signs.
Where did you go? 24,
34.
34.
Yeah, page 70, well, my page 76.
You get that, Neil, page 76.
I'm there.
34.9.5.
So though, the whole list of section 34.9 is prohibited,
Yeah,
so, right?
yes.
Except in those two districts, but if you go to those districts,
You need an exception.
I think it's behind, I think it's in front of it.
Page 77.
So how does that apply to,
They're allowed in the commercial and the industrial districts only,
Yeah.
internally. Externally, limit signs shall have shielded, blah, blah, blah.
The concept here was that we were making an exception for the commercial and industrial district. They could have internally lit signs. No one else in town can have internally, no other district can have internally lit signs. And so the ban in 34.9.5 says nobody can have it except,
Industrial
and the
commercial.
exception applies, and the citation is there to the two sections, one in the commercial zone, one in the industrial zone, that says they can have lit, internally lit, non-flashing signs. I don't think there's a problem there. I'm not sure what, Kelly, I'm not sure what your issue is.
Yeah, I don't either.
They can have both though, right? They can have internally and externally lit signs.
Yes.
Okay.
Only in the commercial and industrial districts.
That's not what it says, though.
Commercial districts had one primary sign, two surfaces, 32 square feet. This sign may be internally lit, internally illuminated. There may be one internally illuminated, manually changeable letter sign at the end of do. And the wording is almost the same in the industrial, except for the size is bigger.
Okay. Maybe I was reading it wrong. Because they are allowed in commercial and industrial.
Right.
Yeah, and I might have been reading that. So as long as I know the intent now, thank you, Neil.
So in other words, for the zoning amendments, we got 3.4.2, 3.5, 4.1, evidently 17.3.12.1, which is the kennels. 9.1, you got to check with the legal counsel,
Yeah.
but you're going to advertise anyway, I assume.
I'll probably get it before I have to advertise. I'll get the legal opinion before.
Then we got 24.3.1,
Yes.
and that's it.
Oh, no, I think we got one more.
Article 37.
What's the other one?
What's that? Evidently, we might have to, we probably ought to put it on there. I think we need to get a legal opinion about Article 36.
That was on your note. Remember that note you asked me, and I said, well, that was because of a legal discussion we
Oh.
had today. Article 36 is you regulate driveways,
Yeah,
and you regulate driveways in your subdivision too.
yeah, so,
So if somebody were to file an appeal on Article 36, it has to go to the zoning board.
if somebody's building a driveway, if I'm building a driveway, I don't have to care about subdivision regulations, 'cause I'm not doing a subdivision.
Okay.
That's why it's in the zoning.
Evidently, the problem becomes if somebody's doing a subdivision and they get a conditional use permit for the driveway, then they would need a variance too to meet the zoning.
They got a conditional use permit, they met the zoning.
No,
Why not?
that's the issue. That's the question.
Because planning board regulates conditional use, not zoning.
What are you getting a conditional use permit for the driveway for?
Anything,
For grade?
whatever we can grant conditional use permits for.
Yeah.
If it's something that's spelled out in zoning,
Slope, width, but you can't, you can, the planning board can grant a waiver, but you, the planning board, can't grant a variance on Article 36.
No, we can't. I agree. So we don't say anything in here about conditional use permit? In Article 36? Is that what you're saying?
I'm sorry, what was your question?
We don't see anything in zoning Article 36 about conditional use permits? That's a question.
Oh.
Yeah.
To tell you the truth, I don't use this one. When I do driveways, I do the driveway regulations, subdivision regulations.
836.3.5.3 on page 86, the planning board may grant a conditional use permit in accordance with the zoning ordinance article. If the board determines the construction is not adversely affect the environment or public interest in
Yeah, but evidently
that's for grade,
for grade only.
yes.
I'm sorry, where are you?
Page 86, article 36.3.5.3.
Maximum grade allowed. The planning board may grant a conditional use permit in accordance with the zoning. I don't think you legally can though,
That's the problem.
Why not? Said right there we can.
because anything in the zoning ordinance has to go to ZBA according to the RSA.
It's either special
What are
exception
you
or
smoking?
variance.
No, it's Aquifer Protection District is 10% coverage. We do a conditional use permit.
Well, evidently, there's a misconception there from somebody. And Bill Dresser has a different opinion.
Bill Dresser helped write that.
I know, that's what I said. So I think we should put it on there and just clarify it with Dresser, and maybe it can come off.
Okay.
What's the article it's referencing?
That was, it wouldn't hurt to have, if we have to have everything on this list, that's all I'm saying. It wouldn't hurt to
I
put
think
it
it
on
has to, I
there.
think it has to be on, I think everything has to be on the list.
Then I think we ought to put it on there, then just verify it, maybe we can just take it off.
Can I ask what was said to make you think we have to do something with that?
Evidently, the ZBA has a case, so they were talking to Dresser about it, and they brought this up, and Dresser said, oh, wait a minute, that can't be in both places, that's not right, gotta get out of zoning.
He's the one that told us to put it in.
I know,
zoning.
that's what I said to Jack.
I will double check. And if it comes up, you know, that we do have to discuss it further, I'll put it on the agenda just for another discussion, okay?
Sure.
I just didn't wanna have the door closed, and we need it open a little bit for a minute.
And there will be a couple of changes on the building permit ordinance. We already straightened out the fee, but we did not end up adopting the 2015 codes like the state did. So I'm gonna have it written by legal, by town council, so it's properly written to adopt the new codes.
As they come out.
Yep, because remember, we didn't, or Neil didn't approve the way that it was written to be voted on. So I'll get it written properly. And now I'm gonna check into that fine and penalty thing. And there wasn't any, I don't know, I'll write it up if there's any other changes, but I know that there's those two right there.
Ask Dresser if we should take the driveways out of subdivision or if we should take it out of zoning. If he says zoning, I'm gonna go down there and kick him in the butt.
No, he was adamant it belonged in subdivision.
So, okay, in which case I own a lot and I'm building a driveway. Subdivision regulations have no control over me.
I know.
I don't think your driveways are just specific to,
If they're in the subdivision regulations and I'm not doing a subdivision, they don't pertain to me.
Well, here's
I see,
evidently, here's the
why you're
crux.
separating it, yeah.
Here's the crux. They may not pertain to subdivisions, but they pertain to the building permit.
And I have to
Well,
go
how does a
somewhere.
building permit pertain to the subdivision regulations? How are you getting from there to there? That's like saying I'm doing a lot line adjustment, so I gotta meet the major subdivision application checklist.
I'm only relaying the message here.
I don't, if you're filing an application, you use those procedures to get your permit. You don't file a subdivision application to get a site plan. You don't file a site plan application to get a subdivision. You don't file a site plan application to get a driveway permit. So therefore, if you're doing a site plan, you're doing a commercial driveway, you gotta put these same driveway regulations in the site plan regulations, or else they won't matter, because they wouldn't if they're not in the zoning.
So
Because they're not in
the
the site plan.
regulations in the zoning are different driveway regulations than what's in the subdivision? I mean, as far as the width and the length?
No, they're saying.
I think it's longer.
They're all the same.
I think it's longer in the zoning. I think it says more.
Oh, okay.
But there's nothing in the site plan regulations, and if I'm filing for a commercial building, I'm not gonna pay attention to subdivision regulations. I'm not even gonna look at them. As an engineer, surveyor. I'm not even gonna look at that red glove, because it doesn't apply to me.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Maybe,
I don't know the RSA behind it.
Because that's where they used to be in the subdivision regulations only. When we revised them, because Chip and, not Benji, Tim, and before Tim,
Cal,
yes, Carl and Tim were complaining that the driveway regulations weren't strict enough, they needed more teeth. So we went through the whole thing and changed, I said, guys, it's not gonna matter, if you're not doing a subdivision, you don't have to follow these. So they had an old driveway in Maplewald, I don't know if you were here then or not. Earl Sanford presented it, long driveway, and it didn't have to meet our regulations. I said, he's not doing a drive, he's not doing a subdivision, we don't,
It's just a residential private driveway.
right? We don't care. So then Drescher came back and said, you either gotta put it in your building permit
Right.
building permit or else in the zoning.
The only way to enforce it
And
is if
then-
it's in the zoning.
And since none of us knew how to do the building permit thing, going to suck and everything else, we stuck it in the zoning.
Okay.
It was easier for us, we knew how to do that.
I know what some places have done to catch stuff that isn't caught by subdivision because it's not part of subdivision. But it's like a grandfathered lot, so zoning is tougher to apply to it. Is that they have development regulations.
But those are just, usually just site plan and subdivision.
Yeah, I know, but it rolls it together so that it's a site plan and subdivision, so that it would catch more. It would apply across the board to more things.
As a, for instance, Tibo is not doing a subdivision after I signed that Mylar. They go for driveway permit, the subdivision regulations don't mean anything to them.
Right.
They were part of a subdivision, if they aren't anymore, it's a lot. Mr. Drescher and I had this conversation, that's why it's in zoning.
You might not just remember.
Tell Billy to call me.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna drive over to his place, but he can call me. So,
Did you want to, have you discussed Hilburn Road at all? Are you taking care of that?
Hilburn Road? I thought we were all set with that.
no, the monuments aren't there.
We haven't heard back from them, have we?
Yeah, but I thought the selectmen were doing something about it, right? Weren't the selectmen
No, the
doing
planning board's doing something about it.
Remember when I was going on vacation, Craig said, I'll call and I'll take care of it? Well,
Yeah.
Somebody,
he did.
I don't know who, contacted Keach to set the 6 missing monuments that supposedly wiped out by the
Mhm.
mower.
I did.
Because the
Okay.
town was gonna pay to replace them because the
Right.
town wiped them out.
Town wiped out 6, we'll pay to put 6 back in.
Right.
So Keach, AKA Mike Dahlberg, had his field crew go out. They spent, I believe, 3 to 5 hours, I'm guessing,
Yeah.
something like that, he said in the email. There's not 6 missing, there's 30 missing. Or disturbed.
It is.
And they couldn't find any of the back pins. The Mylar that was recorded said the back pins were set.
Mhm.
So I wrote a letter to Gary, basically saying the town would pay for 6 bounds to be set. And we needed a letter from from a licensed land surveyor stating that all the lot monuments and roadway monuments were recovered and/or reset. Art sent us a letter saying, I hereby certify all the monuments are set. I emailed Art back and said, no, that's not what we wanted. We want you to say they were recovered and/or set recently. I told him about, I didn't say Dahlberg, I said somebody went out and looked at them. Couldn't find them. He goes, well, I know they're there, we set them. Oh, I also went out and looked on the power line for the back corners, because I figured I'd easy walking. I didn't find it on there either. So I sent
There's nothing that would have disturbed them back there.
no. So there was a couple emails from Art to me that I didn't even reply to any of them. Then he said that Gary said Gary told me to go ahead and do it. So Art's resetting the monuments.
Okay.
As far as who's paying for 6, I don't know. Or how we're determining how much the 6 are, I don't know.
I think we're still, we already
I-
said we were paying for 6.
Yeah. But I told Gary in a letter that I personally cannot recommend to the selectmen to take over the roads without the monument site, invisible. So. That's where Hilburn Road sits,
Okay.
waiting for Art to say, yeah, they're set again. Then Craig will go out and say, yep, they're
So we got
there.
Somebody go out and confirm that they're
Then I'll
actually
drive
there.
down the road and say, yep, they're there. I'll take a little walk down the power line again, and say, yep, they're there. And I'll tell you guys, hey, they're there. We done yet?
Minutes, oh,
What are we doing on this
Oh.
subdivision regs that you sent?
okay, so the subdivisions, I just sent you the final draft. There should have been a cleanup, not a marked-up copy.
Well, I had read it in it,
It did?
Yes.
yep.
Your
And
email said
the
there's
copy
one-
you sent, I
Linda,
have these many pages of incorrect numbering.
Oh, I didn't even do page number or table of contents yet.
No, I'm talking about the
Oh,
bullets and,
really?
I didn't look at them.
I didn't bring mine in. Okay, I'll double check them, because it should be a final draft like it was gonna be adopted just the way it is, except you need to approve to make sure that all my changes are in there.
So you talked to
So
fire
it
chief?
shouldn't be red, it shouldn't be.
it's got red
Yeah,
all
your
through
email
it, 'cause I
said there's-
highlighted what was red.
Yeah, your email said something.
In my copy, there was no red, it was only blue.
I guess I do have a colored printer.
Your printer's running out of ink, Neil.
This was an email, Bruce.
Your screen's running out of blue pigment.
Wow, okay, let me double check it, it really should not
Red
be.
pigment.
My copy on my screen didn't show up any color.
Yeah, but right on the front page on the
Come on,
title, it
folks.
says regulations
Long
shall, and
screen
it's,
coming through.
Okay,
Your email said something about there was red lines on it too.
just going down because I had
Oh,
to.
okay.
When I was all done tracking the changes, you know how on the sides,
yeah.
Yep, okay.
those lines, I couldn't get rid of those lines without deleting all the paragraph lines. I'd like, forget it, I'm just gonna tell you that there's a red line on the side, just a red vertical line.
Well, I can give you my slip of paper to say these, I'll give you this whole packet,
Yeah, you can give me the packet back and I'll double check
and
it.
then you just check those,
Okay.
And that's gonna be in the agenda,
just the way the numbers,
the workshop in December.
Yeah, you want it on the agenda, but not, I don't have to put it on the newspaper.
I would love to be done with that.
Public hearing.
I'd love to have a public hearing, be done with it.
For the subdivision?
Yes,
If I can get you a clean copy.
but you gotta get the fire chief to say about the dry hydrant.
I did, he did, it's in here. You didn't
Okay.
notice it?
I didn't look at it.
He kept the dry hydrant in there, except he put the word may instead of shall. So he kept it in there.
Okay.
So I had to renumber again.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many minutes are we behind on? 3?
Well, Neil just sent the sidewalk minutes. They're right there in front of you.
Yep.
And then you've got November 12th, which is
Yep.
only 3 pages this time.
Yep.
And then you've got October 22. And that, they should be all in front of you if you don't have a copy.
Okay, so we got 3 sets of minutes. I haven't looked at them, but I promise I will next time.
Okay?
that's what he's saying,
Okay, are you tabling it?
that's fine.
I'd love to table it. Yes. Table it. I actually worked in the zoning amendments instead of working on the minutes.
Okay,
I did this instead of working on the minutes.
I see.
That's my excuse, okay?
The minutes of 11/19, 11/12, and October 22.
Yes, there'll be 4 sets of minutes.
Table, got it.
Anything else? The other reason I want to get the subdivision regs in, because that way they're required to give us a PDF.
Okay, next Pilgrim, subregs, new calendar for 2021 I sent out.
Yeah, so that,
That's it on my list.
When are we gonna know about Zoom meeting next month?
Oh, God. Just a couple of people weren't pleased on how the Zoom was coming at the last meeting, so. I don't
What?
know,
A couple people, what?
complaining about how it was coming along.
Who? At this meeting?
No,
Oh,
no, the Zoom meetings,
ah,
but
evidently that's what that's for.
yes. So that can be a screen, so you can see different screens up, on the computer.
And they,
Cable that you hook in,
and they've got to wait, these will work for the microphones. For
But
people
they-
that are present here.
ah, okay.
yeah, but
And-
there's a time delay.
Oh, so we're doing a combo?
Yeah. That's a thought, I think. And that they've got a camera set up that,
Gets the board.
they set it back there on a tripod that gets the board and gets the board here so that, and the podium. So people can, well, maybe it doesn't get the screen, but it gets the people here in the podium.
I think
Why do you-
I think you get to see the screen.
Yeah.
Can't we hook that up to a PC, I mean a laptop, to get the ambience in the room?
Yeah, it's a Bluetooth, that can hook up to anything.
So that would be your microphone for the Zoom.
You can hear, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they did have something that hooked up to the microphones, and there's a voice delay on it.
But that can certainly Bluetooth to the PC for external speaker, so that would not
Yeah,
listen to
what
the
I,
PC.
what I do at church is I have a Mevo camera,
Mhm.
that I can use it as a, regular camera, and it has microphone built into it. So that hooks to a Chromebook that hooks to the TV.
Mm.
And that's how I run the Zoom meeting. And then I'm on my own PC, on my own laptop, and it has me leading the meeting, but I'm up on the screen still too.
So it's close, it should be ready for December.
Okay.
Who has it?
Well, it should be decided before
Before the public notice goes
Or-
out.
17th,
public
right? So
notice.
2 weeks before the 17th, right?
For December 10th.
Or
Yes.
December 10th.
I
So
gotta
2
put
weeks
this, I
before
gotta put
that,
this notice out next week.
yeah. So it has to be done by, so the December 10th would probably have to meet the regular way, and then maybe the 17th will be ready to, or that we may have to wait till January.
That's what I'm thinking, December 17th might be the one that is, we can actually advertise and be set up and everybody knows how to use it.
Well, I'd really like to try it once at a workshop rather than going straight into the.
Yeah, I know, exactly. Yeah.
It's-
So the purpose of the Zoom is so that we don't have to have an audience?
Right.
And we don't have to be here.
And your members, you don't have to be here.
Well, someone has to be here.
Kelly does, she gets paid.
I'm not comfortable
Smiling,
doing
see
it.
it smile. I can make her be here.
You're right. Well, you know,
I can't.
No, you can't. He's the vice chair.
you should hold out for a color printer.
I'm still surprised he has a color monitor.
Are we good?
Yeah, I'm all right. You all right?
Yeah, I'm all right.
Move to adjourn.
Do we have a second, Neil? Nope.
No.
Okay. We'll be here all night. Neil's home, he doesn't care.
I'll second it.
Discussion, all in favor, good night.
Right.
Good night.
You want my envelope back?